In the constantly changing world of work and in life, tough times are bound to happen. We want to know what makes leaders stand out when they face these challenges, these headwinds as we call it. So in this episode today, we'll explore the 5 important qualities that leaders need when dealing with tough times. Let's discuss.
Welcome to Leadership is Changing. Each week, we and our guests provide information and insights through exploring leading change. This is taking your leadership to another level by finding the balance between executive excellence and personal well-being through stories that inspire real change. It's time to adapt in our fast-moving world when leadership is changing with your host, Denis Giannoutsas.
Welcome to the Ask Denis episode. This is a freestyle episode where I'm asked a question by our listeners, or I share my thoughts, experiences, and insights from working with many leaders around the globe. Hey listeners, it's great to be with you again here on the Ask Denis freestyle episode. In the world of business and in life, tough times and challenges, part of the deal. It's part of the package. But what sets some leaders apart is their ability to handle these tough situations with strength and with grace. So in this episode, we'll look at the 5 important qualities that leaders need when dealing with adversity and challenges. Are these the only 5? No, but here are 5 of them that I wanted to share today. Number 1, resilience. It's a big deal when it comes to leadership in hard times. For a lot of people, they're trying to cope in the situations, but as we go and over time, we grow that resilience shield and we become more resilient. It means that leaders can tend to bounce back from tough situations, keeping their cool even when things get tough. Now, they know that challenges are bound to happen, and they see them as chances to grow. But if they're actually seeing or they know things are going to happen, do they prepare for them so they can be more resilient? Because you see, when leaders show resilience, they inspire their teams to keep going through hard times and show the kind of strength needed to overcome obstacles. So number 1 is the resilience. Now, number 2 is adaptability. Now, being adaptable is another really important quality for leaders when dealing with adversity. My keynote is about adaptive leadership, thriving as a leader in a dynamic world. You see, most leaders today are trying to survive as leaders, but what happens if they can thrive as a leader in that dynamic world? In a world where things change all the time, leaders need to be flexible and open to new ideas and ways of doing things. You see, adaptable leaders can quickly change course when needed and encourage their teams to do the same thing. So they can move and they may be agile and so forth. Being adaptable lets leaders come up with some creative solutions to these unexpected problems. And they see opportunities when others might only see problems. Now, what do we mean by that? So some can go and find solutions, even though there's a problem there, where others will only see the problem and they can't see anything else. Now, it also helps create a culture within the organization that values learning and getting better at what they do so that the team can succeed in this constantly changing world. So number 1 was the resilience and number 2 was adaptability. So number 3 is empathy. Now, empathy is all about understanding how others feel, and it's a big help for leaders during tough times. There's an awesome video that's on YouTube, and I'm going to encourage you to go and search for it. Empathy versus sympathy. Many people get confused what is the difference. And it's by an author and speaker, Brené Brown. And if you haven't seen it, go and check it out. It's really cool. I think it's about 3 minutes long, so it wouldn't take long for you to watch it. Now, leaders who show empathy get what their team members are going through emotionally, and they understand their perspective and needs. They acknowledge that challenges that their team face and offer support, and both from a personal and a professional perspective. So it's coming from both ends. Now, when leaders show empathy, they start to build trust and a sense of togetherness in the team. This trust is really important when dealing with adversity because it makes communication easier and helps the team work together to solve problems. Leaders who really care about their team's well-being can inspire and motivate their employees to overcome challenges together. So number 3 is empathy. Number 4 is vision. So having a clear and inspiring vision is like guiding light during hard times, a bit like a lighthouse guiding ships in the middle of the night to steer away from land or rocks. Or it's like seeing the light at the end of the tunnel. Effective leaders keep their long-term vision in mind and they share it with their team, reminding everyone the big goals that they're actually working towards. A strong vision helps leaders steer their teams through rough waters, giving them a sense of direction and purpose even when challenges seem overwhelming. And it's a bit like watching some waves in the sea, and it's the massive storm and the waves are really huge, but you can't see much further past that wave and it's really quite challenging for you. But a leader who has that strong vision knows where the boat's going, knows where they're going to go to, is the one that will actually keep making sure that they're steering in the right direction and they're going to keep going and they've got that sense of direction and purpose. It not only inspires team members, but it also helps them see how their efforts fit into the bigger picture, which then in turn makes them feel like that their work is meaningful. So number 4 is vision. Number 5, and this is the last one here on those 5 different leadership qualities, is that problem-solving skills is really important. Leaders need to be good problem solvers when they're facing adversity. I find that a lot of people and leaders have forgotten how to think. They've forgotten how to use critical thinking. You see, they're running from email to email, meeting to meeting. So much going on for them in their lives. There's so much noise out there. And so they've actually forgotten how to think, or they don't take time out to stop and step back and think. You see, they have to be able to analyze situations, and they need to find some creative solutions to make smart decisions under pressure. Great problem solvers also means working closely with the team members as well, using their knowledge and skills to find the best solutions. Now, when leaders involve their teams in problem solving, they're not only coming up with better answer or answers, but also to create culture where everyone takes responsibility and works towards overcoming those challenges. See, when it comes to dealing with adversity and challenges, leadership qualities like resilience, adaptability, empathy, vision, and problem-solving skills are really important. These qualities will help leaders guide their organizations to success, even if they are facing headwinds or tough times. By actually starting to embody these qualities, leaders not only help their organizations overcome obstacles, but they also create a lasting legacy of strength and growth. Listeners, that's it for this Ask Denis episode. It's always a pleasure being with you. Thanks for joining me on the Leadership is Changing podcast. Until next time, bye for now.
Thank you for listening to this episode of Leadership is Changing with your host, Denis Giannoutsas. Each week, we and our guests provide information and insights through exploring leading change, inspiring executives and leaders to adapt and lead a bigger game in a fast-moving world.